The views and opinions expressed in the DILLIGAF podcast are those of the host alone and are not intended to express those of any other person, business, or entity. The DILLIGAF podcast is for entertainment only. These are my opinions and should not be interpreted as facts or advice. Think for yourself.
Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah. I think that we've all had enough.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the DILLIGAF podcast, talking about anything and everything that interests me. If it makes me think, laugh, cry, scream, rage, or say what the fuck, you'll hear about it. My name's Tom. I'm your host. Thank you to everybody for checking out the show on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, or wherever you get your podcast from. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, share, rate, comment, all that kind of good stuff. Make sure you're following on social media. It's at DILLIGAF_pod on all the socials. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's DILLIGAFpod@gmail.com. And you can find all that and more on my Linktree, which is Linktree/DILLIGAF_pod, or you can scan the little QR code right there in the corner of the screen if you're watching on the video. So, got what I consider an interesting topic today. We are talking about ownership and property. And when I say property, I'm talking about like physical, tangible property, your house, your car, land, even money. Things that you physically own. But do you actually own them? Really think about that for a minute. Do you actually own anything? Is it truly 100% yours? I'll answer the question for you. No, it's not. You don't own anything. You think you do. The folks in charge like to give you the illusion that you own something, but you don't. I'm sorry to be the one to break this to you, but you don't. Let's start off with the most basic one, your house. People work and save for years to buy a house because for some reason, society tells us that owning a house is some kind of benchmark for success or something like that. Why? Really, why? Well, why is that the goal or should be the goal for everybody? I like me personally, I've never had any interest in owning a house or any kind of property at all. To me, it just seems like more trouble than it's worth. You spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on this structure. And of course, that's not the end of it because you got to pay for any maintenance, repairs, upkeep, upgrades, remodeling. It just seems, like I said, it seems like more trouble than it's worth to me. People say, well, you pay so much in rent, you could get a mortgage for cheaper. Yeah, you probably could, but a mortgage isn't the only thing involved in buying a house. Again, you got maintenance and upkeep and repairs and homeowners insurance, and you want to remodel the kitchen or upgrade your bathroom. Buying a house is a whole lot more than just paying a mortgage. Whereas apartment living, like I do, yeah, my rent may be a little bit more than the average mortgage, which actually mine is not. I got a really good deal on my place, but that's beside the point. But my rent covers all that shit. If I have a plumbing problem, I can make a phone call, it gets fixed. If I have an electrical problem, I make a phone call, it gets fixed, and it doesn't come out of my pocket. Yeah, okay, I can't remodel my bathroom or my kitchen or paint my walls, whatever crazy colors I might want to. Personally, I don't care about that stuff. As long as everything in my apartment works the way it's supposed to, meaning my water, my heat, my electric, as long as all that shit works the way it's supposed to, that's all I care about. And like I said, if something goes wrong, I make a phone call or send an email, it gets fixed. And it doesn't come out of my pocket. I still just pay my same monthly rent, and I pay renter's insurance, which is like $10 a month. I much prefer, to me, that is much less stressful. There's a lot of stress that goes along with owning a house. So I have no desire for any of that. But let's get back to the topic at hand here. Do you actually own that house? No, you don't. You never will. And let me explain what I'm talking about when I say that. You, again, worked all these years, saved and scrimped and put all this money together for a down payment and bought the house, and you pay your mortgage and you pay your insurance and all this kind of stuff, and you keep up with your maintenance and mowing the lawn and shoveling the snow and spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years, finally get it all paid off 30 years later, and you think, the house is mine now. No more mortgage and still ain't yours. You think you own that house? Stop paying your property taxes. See how long you own that house. Stop paying your HOA fees, which so many places have now. See how long you own that house. It doesn't even have to be the fucking government. Your HOA can come in and take your house from you. And if that can be done, it's not yours. You've taken responsibility for it and you've paid ridiculous amounts of money for that responsibility, but it's not yours. Like I said, stop paying those property taxes. See how fast the state comes in and takes that house from you. You don't own it. You're 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 renting, same as me. You're just saddled with a lot more responsibility you because you have the illusion of ownership, but you're basically just renting that little plot of land from your state government. It's just the way it is. You will never own that house or that piece of land because you continually have to pay the state for the privilege of living there. You're renting. You're just paying a hell of a lot more than I am for it. Same thing goes for a car. And I'm a victim of this as well, because I live in Chicago and I need a car to get around. Well, I suppose I don't need one. Chicago is a great public transportation system, but I work out in the suburbs. There's no public transportation to my job, so I need a car. And I just finished paying my car off last year. Free and clear, have the title, car's mine. Or is it? You think you own your car? Stop paying your yearly registration. See how long you own that car. Or in a case like mine in a city like Chicago, not only do you have to pay your state registration every year, but we have what's called a city sticker that we have to stick in our window to basically register the car with the city of Chicago every year. So places like Chicago, we get hit twice. That's not ownership. I mean, I understand the concept of registration. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying registration is not necessary. I get that. I get the legalities behind it. Registering the car says you bought it legally. You are legally allowed to drive it. You're carrying your insurance because if you don't have a driver's license, you don't uh, have insurance on the car, you can't register it. So I get all that. Why does it have to be done every year? Why do you have to re-register every single year? I mean, there's no reason they can't monitor your driver's license status and your insurance status without having to pay hundreds of dollars every year for it. Why not just register the car once and you're done? But no, it's a tax. It is a tax for the privilege of driving. And again, you don't own that car. You paid thousands upon thousands of dollars for it. You pay for the upkeep and the repairs and the maintenance and the insurance and all that kind of stuff, but you still don't own it. Like I said, stop paying that registration. Watch what happens. See how fast that car disappears from your driveway. You will never completely own that car. It's just the way it is. It's not yours. You're leasing it from, from the state or the city or whatever. It's not yours and it never will be. And the same thing goes for money. I, I I see so many people online because it's a hot topic right now talking about what they want their tax dollars to go to and all this kind of shit. And there's arguments on both sides. Well, I want my tax dollars to go to healthcare and this and that, and other people, I want my tax dollars to go to the military and all this other bullshit. And I think it's hilarious because they actually think it's their money. It's not. It's not. Your tax dollars were never yours. It's not like you're voluntarily giving that money to the government. And let's be very, very clear here. I'm specifically talking about income tax. You are taxed for the privilege of having a job. That in and of itself is ridiculous. But your first couple of days every week at that job, you're not working for you. You're not earning any money for yourself. You're working for the fucking government. That's their money. You never see it. You have no choice in where it goes. You don't get the opportunity to spend it or anything like that. It's not yours. Never was. The first couple of days every week at your job, you are working to pay the government. The federal, the state, some places have local income tax. You're working to pay these motherfuckers. You're not working for yourself. You're not working for your own money. You are an indentured servant to the fucking government. You have no say so in where that money goes. If you have no say so in it, it was never yours to begin with. Now, obviously, people are going to argue, like, oh, well, you can put exempt on your tax forms and so they don't hold. Yeah, you can, but then you still got to file income tax at the end of the year and pay whatever they didn't hold out of your paycheck. Or, you could not file income tax and then that will eventually catch up with you. You'll get a nice little letter in the mail from the IRS. You haven't paid taxes in X amount of years. Then you're getting into Al Capone territory for tax evasion. The government's going to get their money. It, it's not a question of if, just a matter of how. Either give it up easily or we're going to fuck you up for it. Because again, if you don't pay your income tax, they'll come and seize your house and your car and whatever else you might think you own. So it's not yours. Your money's not yours. Your house is not yours. Your car is not yours. Nothing is yours. If somebody can just arbitrarily come in and seize it from you, it is not yours to begin with. I don't care how much you paid for it. It's not yours. You're just basically paying a very expensive lease. And that goes for any piece of property you might own. The computer that I'm working on right now, the TVs in my house, the whatever anything that you might own. If somebody can come in and seize it from you, it's not yours. Never was. You're borrowing all this shit. You're renting it. Ownership is just simply not a thing when it can be taken away from you at the snap of a finger. Again, going back to owning a house. Like I said, I've never had any desire to own a house. That was a big contributing factor to my not being married anymore. Because she wanted a house, I wanted no part of it. For exactly this reason. It you never own it. You don't own the house, you don't own the land that it sits on, you don't own the car in the driveway, you don't own anything inside of it because it can all be taken away from you arbitrarily. And I say arbitrarily, but ideally, if stuff is going to be seized from you, it means you committed some kind of crime. But I mean, come on. If something is being taxed like that and the consequence of not paying that tax is you losing whatever it is you're paying tax on, it's not yours. And people are going to argue about this left and right and disagree with me and say that I'm stupid for thinking this way. Whatever. I mean, keep living in your little bubble. Keep deluding yourself into thinking you actually have something. Folks, nobody owns shit. Nobody owns shit because if people can just come in and seize it from you, it was never yours to begin with. I put it in the same category as rights that we supposedly have. We don't have rights. We have privileges. We have a list of temporary privileges because if they can be taken away, they're not rights. Same thing if talking about physical objects. If it can be taken away, it's not yours. It's not your property. You don't own it. And again, this is my opinion. This is my interpretation of ownership. And like I said, I'm in it with the rest of you. I have a car. I say I own the car. I really don't. Because let me miss paying that registration a couple of times. I won't own it for very long because the state says so. I, I I'll say it again. I don't understand the point of having to re-register every single year. I get having to do it once. And whenever I decide to buy a new car, I'll have to register that new car. I get that. I accept that. That like I said, I understand the legalities behind that and needing to know who who's out there on the streets and what they're driving. I get that, especially if the car gets stolen. Oh, okay, here's the license plate number. That's your registration and stuff like that. I get the point of registration. I'm not saying you should never have to register a car, but the year after year paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars, it's a money grab. Same thing with property taxes. It's a money grab. You will never truly own any of this stuff. You will never truly have your own property. I hate to burst anyone's bubble who thinks, oh, my house is paid off, my car is paid off. Great, you're still paying for it though. That will never change. You will be paying for these things until the day you die. And if you have to do that, you don't truly own it. Owning something means you pay for it once, you're done, it's yours. You don't have to pay for the privilege of keeping it. But that's not a thing. Not when it comes to a house or a car or even your money. It's just not a thing. So I think that's going to wrap us up for this week. Kind of a short episode, but this is something that I've thought about for a long time and really has bugged me for a long time because people are always so proud to buy a house or buy a new car and all this kind of stuff. And I get that. It is an accomplishment. Don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying or disrespecting people who do own a home or buy a new car or whatever. Not no disrespect to them whatsoever. It is an accomplishment. You saved your money, you were smart, and you accomplished that goal for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. This is not a slight against people who buy houses. I'm just saying it's not for me. But if you honestly, truly think that that house or that car is ever really yours, it's not. because, like I said, you still have to continue to pay for it. If you have to continue to pay for it, then you don't truly own it. And it really is that simple. If somebody can come in and take it away from you because you stop paying for it, you don't own it. That's like if you buy a car, you stop paying your car note. They're going to come and repossess the car because you don't own it. Now you finish paying off that car note. Yeah, the bank's not going to come and repossess it anymore, but you stop paying that yearly registration fee, the state will damn sure come and repossess it because it's not yours. You don't own it. It's not your property. It really is that simple. And that, like I said, this is something that I've thought about for a long time. And it's crazy to me that more people don't see it this way. But I think we've been so conditioned, like that this is what you have to do in order to be a successful person in America. You have to own a house and you have to own a car. You have to pay a mortgage for 30 years and you have to pay your car note for 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it is. That's what it means to be successful and to be a real adult American is to have stuff. I guess I just measure success in a different way. I know other people do too. I'm not saying this is unique to me. I'm not that arrogant, I promise. But to me, being successful is just being a good person. If you're a parent, just raising a good family, good children, and just living a good life, living a happy life. That to me is being successful. Like I consider myself very successful. I have a great job, I have a good family, a great son. I'm happy. I'm successful. I don't need a $500,000 house. I don't need 3 cars in the garage because I'll never own any of that shit anyway. What do I own? I own my own happiness. I own my own life, I guess. Even that's questionable. But that's how I personally view my success as a person, not by do I own a house or anything like that. And I keep going back to the house thing because that really is the big measuring stick, the benchmark in America for adulthood or success. Like everybody should own a house. Why? Like I said, for me, there's way too much stress involved in owning a house. I'm much happier in my apartment, pay my rent. I don't have to worry about nothing. Something breaks, it gets fixed, and it doesn't come out of my pocket. So that's pretty much it. That's my little rant about property and ownership. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with everything that I've had to say. That's fine. If you don't see it that way, that's fine. Like I said, this is just my opinions. This is the way I view the world. So this is just giving you a little insight into my mind, scary as that may be. But again, thank you to everybody for checking out the show on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, or wherever you get your podcast from. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe, share, rate, comment, all that kind of fun stuff. Really does help out the show. So please, especially the sharing part, I want to grow the audience, guys. Share it. Say, hey, look at this asshole trying to sound like he knows what he's talking about, or whatever. But please help me out. And make sure you're following on socials. It's at DILLIGAF_pod on all the social medias. You can find all that and more on the link tree, which is linktree/DILLIGAF_pod, or scan the QR code right there in the corner of the screen if you're watching on video. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's dilligafpod@gmail.com. So with that, I'm going to sign off for right now. And as always, if anyone has any issues with anything that I have said here today, ask yourself one question. Do I look like I give a fuck?
'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.